It was a warm Saturday evening when I decided to take my fishing rod down to the dock. The sun was sinking low, painting the lake in streaks of orange and gold. My line cast out with a soft plop, ripples spreading across the water I'd owned for nearly a decade. Fishing had always been my way to unwind. I wasn't after trophies or records, just the quiet, the rhythm, the peace. But peace doesn't last long when there's an HOA lurking nearby. I heard the sound of tires crunching gravel. A police cruiser pulled up on the road by my gate. 2 officers stepped out, followed by, of course, Karen in her ever-present white SUV. She was already waving her HOA binder in the air like a victory flag. "There he is," she shouted, pointing at me like she'd caught a bank robber. "Arrest him. He's poaching from community property. He doesn't even live here." The deputies exchanged a glance. One called out, "Sir, can you come up here for a moment?" I reeled in slowly, propped the rod against the dock, and walked over. "Evening, officers. What seems to be the problem?" Karen shoved papers at them. "The problem is this man is illegally fishing in our HOA lake. Our bylaws strictly forbid it unless dues are paid and permits are issued. He's refused to comply for years." I raised an eyebrow. "Your lake?" "Yes," she snapped. "Ours. Community property. He's been trespassing and poaching every time he comes down here." The deputies looked at me expectantly. I smiled, reached into my tackle box, and pulled out a folder I always kept handy for moments like this. Inside were the deeds, maps, and surveys filed with the county. "Gentlemen, this lake isn't HOA property. It's mine. I bought it along with this ranch 10 years ago. Every square foot of water, dock, and shoreline is listed under my deed." Karen's face went pale. That's a lie." I handed the officers the documents. They studied them carefully, comparing parcel numbers against their records. One of them whistled. "He's right. This lake is privately owned." Karen sputtered. No, the HOA has always maintained it. We hold fishing tournaments, boat days, community barbecues, and all of that," I interrupted calmly, "has been trespassing. You've been using my lake without permission. Every event, every kayak, every picnic. You've been unlawfully occupying private property." The deputies turned back to Karen. "Ma'am, did your HOA ever secure a lease or easement agreement for this lake?" She faltered. "Well, no. We just assumed." "Assumptions don't hold up in court," I said. "And since you called the police on me for fishing my own water, I think it's time to make things official. From this day forward, all HOA use of the lake is suspended. Any member caught trespassing will be fined, and repeat offenders will be prosecuted. I'll also be billing the HOA for a decade's worth of unauthorized use." The deputies nodded. "He's within his rights. If you don't want to face charges, ma'am, you and your board better start cooperating." Karen's jaw dropped. "You can't do that. The entire neighborhood depends on this lake." I leaned on the fence. "Then you should have thought about that before you tried to criminalize me for enjoying what I legally own. Maybe next time, don't bite the hand that literally owns the water." The officers gave her a warning look and headed back to their cruiser. Karen stood frozen for a moment, binder clutched like a lifeline, before storming back to her SUV and peeling off in a cloud of dust. I went back to my dock, cast the line again, and watched the ripples spread across my lake. The quiet returned, sweeter than ever. Karen had thought she could weaponize the law to kick me off community property. What she didn't know was that the only community that lake ever belonged to was me. For years, they'd been the trespassers, and now the trespass was over.